morning.
I'm actually very pleased to be bringing this because I wasn't too sure maybe half a year ago that I would be bringing this back. But in 2017, PSTA and Hart set up a memorandum of understanding so that we could share our resources. Over that time, we've had shared resources with Al Burns, our Director of Procurement, who's now works with us full-time, Diane Randall, who is our Director of Risk, and she was helping over at Hart to get them up to speed, which she did. And back last June, Hart terminated that agreement with for Diane, simply because she achieved the objectives that were out there and got the department up and running. So what we've done is both Hart and PSTA have taken a look at the MOU and made some changes and some additions so that we could share other areas as well. We've opened it up to just about anything, but we've gone ahead and added areas like marketing and communications to this. And I think that will be very, very good. We haven't done much with Hart this past year because of the termination of the agreement for the risk director. We've done a joint fuel procurement, and honestly, that's been about it. So I'm very happy to see that they're willing to go forward and do more with us, because we're always willing to work with them or any other transit agency. Some of the changes that we've had in the actual MOU, I just want to go through. We took off the sharing of the risk director. We've added, as I mentioned, planning, marketing, and communications, in addition to what was already in there for maintenance, purchasing, paratransit, contracting, innovative mobility solutions, human resources, information technology, government relations, fair payment systems, and information from a customer's perspective. So we've got just about every area covered in here that we could possibly use. Some of the areas that were deleted related to actually what, at the time, T-BARTA had not been yet reinvented. So there were some regional things in here, which of course we would participate in, but T-BARTA now is heading those regional transit initiatives.
So, my name is, my question is, who are we making this agreement with, given that they don't have a leader over there at the moment?
Well, it would be approved by their Hart board.
I get that, but who's running the show?
Do they have an interim?
Well, we originally, in that, because of the absence of a CEO over there, we held this off. We originally had planned to bring this to you, to the PSTA board in December, but held off until now with the understanding that they will soon have a leader again.
Right, I think it's, I would like to, as I was talking with the woman over at Hart, I'd like to be poised for when they do get back into full business with a full complement of staff, so that if we approve it, they can take it to their board, get it approved. So should they need resources, or should we need resources, that we would be ready to move forward quickly rather than waiting yet another month.
And do we have any updates on what's going on with Ben?
Well, just in relation to the partnering with Hart, we have been partnering, we continue to partner, seems like forever, on the Flamingo Fair's technology project. So it hasn't been without. And then I will say, Debbie didn't mention, but the one area of collaboration that Ben called me about 6 months ago was, could he have Debbie act as a joint CFO for Hart? I said, well, she's pretty much acting as CFO for two agencies already, T-BARTA and PSTA. So I think I better talk to her about taking on a third. And so we've held off on that for now.
Thank you, Brad.
It's a busy person, huh?
And I saw that you didn't mention finance.
Well, I might have glossed over that.
Well, they are about to hopefully come into a windfall. What are we going to do then?
Well, then I might help out.
You know, because...
Yeah. I mean, I think they were going to recruit a full-time CFO, but I
Yes.
think think that's on hold right now.
Yes, and they do have a really good seasoned staff in the finance and grants area, already. So those people are moving forward. I've reached out to, when all this happened, I reached out to that person and said, if you need anything, just let me know.
Okay.
I mean, at the Hart board meeting on Monday of this week, there was just a statement made by the attorney that they expected the investigation into the whistleblower complaint to be wrapped up this month. And some kind of report at the beginning of February Hart meeting. So that's all I know.
Great, very unusual situations. Okay. All right, so at this point, where do we stand? We can't really do anything further.
Well, I think we can approve it from our side.
Yeah.
And I would recommend that we do so that we can move forward expeditiously when Hart is able to do so.
Are we ready to put this on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right.
All right, do we need a motion to do that, or? Yep. All right, I'll ask for a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Deb, I just want
Okay,
to say something.
thank-
This is a great job.
Yeah.
This is really good stuff. Great job.
We're all here to help each other. Matter of fact, I told Brad Links reached out. I said I'm willing to help on answering questions. It's
Yeah.
like,
So this didn't,
I could start a business on the side, but I'm not.
This is just common sense and it's working together. It's really good.
Actually, it's a
So,
lot more
I don't
than
know what it's
common
gonna look
sense,
like.
it's knowing what the hell you're doing.
Right, yeah.
for some reason, this,
Okay.
We got a
Thank
gold
you very
star,
much.
we got a gold star right
We're
there.
fortunate to have you.
Right.
like
Brad.
it's supposed to.
Okay.
Don't make her mad.
Weird, but.
Be nice.
Don't make me tired.
I know, but as you know, T-Barta became much more of a thing just in December. So, we've got,
It's all good.
she's got her problem children already.
Good. All right, thank you. All right, so, Trish?
Yes.
Okay, we're all set for a drug and alcohol update?
Good morning.
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 All right, so PSTA and all public transportation organizations are required to maintain and manage a drug and alcohol program that meets FTA and DOT requirements. We have that in place. We periodically review it and look for changes and improvements that we need to make. In spring of last year, the FTA released a template builder for a policy, and we took that opportunity to say the FTA is providing language that they have fully approved and that they like, and let's take this opportunity to adopt that template language and review our policy from top to bottom to just have the best policy that we can. One of the requirements is that our board approves our drug and alcohol policy program for the safety-sensitive employees in our agency. Safety-sensitive has a very specific definition, but simply and broadly, it's the employees who operate our vehicles or direct the operation of our vehicles, and employees who maintain our vehicles. So primarily, we're talking about our bus operators, the supervisors over the operators, and our fleet maintenance staff. So we've made a couple of adjustments to the policies, the draft policies that are in your packet. One is that we've utilized the FTA language that they included in their template builder. We've also, for the first time, separated the language that applies to our safety-sensitive employees. Again, this is our operators, our mechanics, the folks who are covered under the federal regulations. We've separated their policy from the policy that governs all of the other employees. That's simply for ease of understanding from the employee's perspective. I get one document, and I know that everything in it pertains to me, and I don't have to parse through language as an employee to say, this is for drivers and this is for me. We have also, for the first time, introduced for all employees a voluntary self-referral program. If an employee comes to feel that they have an issue with drug or alcohol, they have a lot of resources available to them. They can contact our EAP program for assistance. They can contact their own medical provider for assistance, and they can do those things independent of our knowledge. But we've introduced a third resource for them if they would like to get us involved, which is to voluntarily come to us and say, I believe I have an issue, I'd like to get some help. Excuse me, we're going to direct them to some resources. We have some parameters in place to ensure that they're not conducting safety-sensitive work while they're getting help, some methods to help hold them accountable with additional testing. And we believe that this sort of safe harbor language is just another important resource for employees who may feel like they need some additional help. So as we're required to do, we are bringing the policy update to first the committee and then to the board at the end of the month. And our ask today is that you recommend approval of the drug and alcohol policy for our safety-sensitive and for our non-safety sensitive employees. Recommend that the board approves that later this month.
Do we have a draft of what we're?
Yes, sir. It's part of the packet. There are 2 documents.
It's in your, on your iPad.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
I have it on mine.
There's no attachment.
To drug and alcohol policy?
There's no attachments. Come over here. Look,
Oh, yeah.
mine says no attachments.
They're in there.
Yeah, the only thing in here is. Where is it?
There, oh, there.
Is there, Brad, what do we need to do?
I had to hit the refresh button,
Oh,
so I must have downloaded this before
oh, I see.
the meeting.
Okay.
There you go. Now I got it. I'm
Excellent.
trained.
All right.
Mr. Martha, you don't have it?
I'm looking it up.
The bottom left is a refresh button that Brad just showed me.
Yeah,
On the whole agenda.
okay. What I did was disconnect and reconnect.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that may want to.
Okay, so we have the document, we'll be presenting that next week.
To the
2 weeks.
To the board, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, very good. All right, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? You're good, Jim?
Oh, sorry, I'm good.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was just busy
All right, passes
looking at my
unanimously.
stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trish. Thanks for keeping us up to speed on all this stuff.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I want to express my thanks to Trish and Liz for keeping us compliant
Right.
and safe. They've also been dealing with a federal audit of this policy.
things.
Our compliance with it the last couple days.
2 days, yes.
Yeah, okay. Very good.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anything new, Brad, on future meeting subjects?
Well, I want to go, I wanted just to kind of update the executive committee on the planned January 29th board meeting agenda, which you have on paper at your spot. You can see we have some exciting maintenance-related procurements that will come to the finance committee on engines and parallel, well, no, not parallelograms, I just heard,
Yeah,
but.
we're getting into geometric stuff here.
So that.
It's the way the
But that's
thing
not
looks up.
Has that been deleted? Is that what you just said?
That's been deleted from the
Yes,
agenda?
we're gonna move that to a.
5D?
5D, yeah.
So that's off, let's take it
You're gonna
off.
move it to where?
February.
Oh,
And then engines and transmissions are gonna actually be put together into one item.
Okay, and then,
We'll be talking
But-
about that in the finance
But
committee.
it's all going to finance, yeah.
maybe Debbie wants to quickly just tell the committee what the audit selection committee member approval is all about?
Certainly. There's a new statute that requires, in the state statute, that requires an audit selection committee be developed for the selection of independent audit firms. And it's required to have at least 3 people on it. Any of us who work here at PSTA cannot serve on it. So we've reached out, we have, I believe, Melanie from T-Barda will be on it, someone from City of St. Pete, and someone from the county will be on the committee. So they will make the recommendations to come to the Finance Committee. Okay, someone from the Clerk of the Court, so with that's from the person from the county. Oh, someone from Manatee County, and then T-Barda. So those are 3 people. What was interesting is I think we're one of the first, or maybe the first one in the area to be doing the solicitation under the new regulation. Because everybody we reached out to, number one, they weren't too sure what we were talking about, so thank you, Al, for keeping us up to speed on that regulation. And secondly, they said, oh, we don't have time, we don't have this, and when their turn comes up, they'll be like, PSTA, can you help? And we'll be like, sure. It's not going to take that much time out of anybody's schedule. But it really truly gives some independence, because I think we all get comfortable with the auditors that we have, and that it's sometimes difficult to make a decision to move away from them, because it's always a learning curve. But this truly will give some independence to the recommendations, so I think that's good.
Can I just add one thing?
You certainly may.
At the conclusion of the procurement process, ultimately it's the board's decision on who we choose as an auditor.
Right.
You guys will do the analysis first? Okay, present it. Did you bring an RFP for that, or is there another process for that?
It's a request for proposal process that we'll use. The top 3 ranked firms must be brought forward to the board of directors.
Am I just delusional? It seems like we just went through this with our
At
auditors.
T-Barda.
T-Barda did.
Oh, is it, 'cause I'm getting my agencies mixed up.
That's okay.
I could just, I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm looking up there and I'm thinking, I
Just did
remember
this.
I was sitting there, like,
Yes, ma'am, you are not delusional.
okay, thank you so much.
T-Barda had a thing where the auditors, Al had them outside of the room, and then they all came and give a little speech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
Well, somebody from Manatee County will be hearing the speech instead.
That's exactly
And I was
right.
like, okay.
Okay.
The big items on the agenda this month are related to, very excitingly, the BRT. We are moving into 2020 and very excited to be moving into the next phase of the BRT project, which seems like we've been talking about a lot, but we haven't had any action items come to the PSTA board for a while. But we're excited to move into construction and implement this project. So the items on this agenda are 2 action items. First, on BRT construction oversight services. It's 2 contract amendments to our design contract with Lochner Engineering. Lochner Engineering for to pay them to oversee, to be available during the construction period, and then our project management oversight consultant, which is HDR Engineering, also to oversee construction. And then item 6B on the agenda is the first aspect of construction related to the BRT, but it's also related to our other services as well, is to construct a turnaround at the County Beach Park, right there along Gulf Boulevard in St. Pete Beach, which will be the end of the line stop. And thanks to Commissioner Long and the county for working over the last couple of months, we have an agreement now with Pinellas County for use of the County Beach Park as the turnaround stop, and that is a very positive, it's viewed very positively by the City Commission of St. Pete Beach, because that will allow the trolleys to no longer turn around in front of the Don Cesar Hotel, but instead turn around at the kind of right there at the beach, which is about 10 blocks north of the Don Cesar. And what we're constructing is essentially kind of like, if you've been to Clearwater Beach and seen the sort of pull off in like a platform, it's going to look like that.
That's working well, by the way.
What?
That is working very well.
Yeah. There'll be kind of like a separate lane for the buses to turn into the parking lot there, and then just right on the north side, or the right-hand side there, will be kind of like a platform, just like in Clearwater, that we're gonna construct there. And then the vehicles will be able to turn right around at the end of the line there. And that will be the terminus for the trolleys and the BRT.
What about that 10-block interval between the Don Cesar and that location? How are people going to get to the Don Cesar?
Well, as it stands today, the way the operation works, which started in early December, the Central Avenue trolley, which has been serving the end of the line at Pass-A-Grille at 8th Avenue for 100 years, actually. There's been trolley service down there. That ceased like on December 17th or something like that. And a separate little electric golf cart shuttle service launched that served that goes right now from the Don Cesar Hotel down to Pass-A-Grille.
Right.
And then the trolley goes down to the Don Cesar and loops around the streets that go around the parking lot of the Don Cesar, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
That's where the trolley goes today. Once this is built, hopefully by June, this turnaround at the County Beach Park, the electric shuttle golf cart service will extend up to the County Beach Park, and the trolley will end there.
So if I'm
So the 10 blocks will be served by the shuttle.
So if I'm a bartender or I don't know, some other hotel employee, a maid, whatever, all the different people that work at the Don Cesar, I've got to get off the bus at the county park, wait for the shuttle to take me the extra 10 blocks to get to work?
Yep,
Yes.
that's what St. Pete Beach wanted.
Doesn't the Don Cesar have any say in that? I mean, that's going to impact their employees as
Tell
well
them
as
to call
anybody
City
that.
Hall.
Pardon me?
We have to tell them to call City Hall.
They don't vote.
That's unbelievable.
The residents vote.
I mean,
It is what it is.
yeah.
That's what they wanted.
I understand that there have been some calls to City Hall from residents concerned about the shuttle, the golf carts.
All right. Well,
That'll be interesting to see.
yeah, I have one more question, and then I'll throw it open for questions. These preliminary services, oversight services and so on, for Lochner and HBR,
HDR, yeah.
they're already funded?
Yes.
So we don't have to lay out
The-
any new money for this? Anything we're talking about?
All of the funding for those two construction oversight is included and has been included in the overall BRT budget. It was planned for a
Yeah.
while now, so this is expected. This is actually going to go to the planning committee for a recommendation and then to the PSTA board, but yes, this is already funded.
Okay. Any other questions? I didn't mean to jump in.
Oh, and then 6C is also exciting. The Flamingo Fare policy is sort of not really, it's not increasing fares or changing fares in the traditional ways, but as I've been telling my staff, and as Commissioner Long always says, the transportation world is changing. It's a whole new world, to quote Ariel. And we're going to this Flamingo system, and the way our customers are going to pay to ride the vehicles is going to change from the way it's been done for the last 45 years, where traditionally our fare policy is it costs $2.25 to ride the bus, and you pay $2.25 of cash, or you can buy certain passes to ride a certain number of times and such. That's all changing, and that it'll be kind of like more like you might be familiar with the Washington Metro and other transit systems where you have a card and you put money on. You can put $20 on or $10 or whatever money you want to on your card, and then you ride and it deducts automatically and then it alerts you when you're running low, and then you add more money to it. That's how the system is going to go. Now, internal to that system, but really what I don't think many of our customers really will care about is it will be deducting $225 per ride from your amount of money, and then the first ride of the day it'll deduct $225. The second ride of the day it'll deduct another $225, so you're out $450. If you ride a third time in the same day, it will automatically give you credit for a day pass, which is $5. So it'll only charge you 50 cents for that third ride. And if you ride a fourth time, it's free because you have a day. It automatically gives the rider the best deal possible on how much they ride. And it's kind of like a frequent flyer reward program, incentivizing more riding because you get each successive ride is cheaper. That's all going to be in the system. So this fare policy kind of is a major change in the way we have been having fare policies, but it's exciting. The other neat thing that I am excited about is we're going to recommend coming up with a group pass, which I can't remember is 4 or 5 people, but for 4 people, $10 for the day, one that you can load onto your card, and so it can be your family. We were originally proposing it to be a family pass, but then there's no way the driver could genetically confirm if you were actually a family member or not. So it's a group, which will be, I think, pretty neat, and open us up more. I think tourists will really like that kind of thing. You can go to dinner on it. One person can just put $10 on their Flamingo card, and other people that may be from out of town or don't have a card or don't know, they can just get on too.
What about the special programs like we have for schools and things like that? Are they going to have some other kind of card, or will the Flamingo card be able to accommodate those special rates?
Well, we are working through all that. I mean, the Flamingo system, we've been planning on it incorporating all of those special programs. Transportation disadvantage is a big one. Yes, our UPass and CPass programs. That's in phase 2, so we're still working on that. Yeah.
Okay, very good. I think we'll anticipate a lot of questions on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else that would you anticipate being an action item on the agenda?
I don't know. Al's usually my guy who says, "Hey, can we add this to the agenda?"
Not this time, sir. I'm taking it away.
Okay.
Okay. That question was addressed to you.
All right. How about performance updates?
Oh, well, yeah, you'll get the
Get our
the
figures and all that
reports.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that concludes our updates for the executive made today.
Any questions, anyone?
Nope.
Okay. All right, well, thank everybody for attending. That was a good, short meeting. And we'll see you all at the board meeting coming up in the future, as well as any specific group meetings that we have for our different committees. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good job, Joe.
It's a great picture. That picture.
Oh, regular.
Okay.
Say, hey, what's happening? Can we just do like a standard approval and then do the requirements? We'll deal with that as it comes.